For Creamer Media's Polity, I'm Sashnee Moodley. Researcher and analyst Professor Raymond Suttner joins me to discuss who can bring about change in South Africa. Welcome, Raymond.
Thank you.
From your article, it appears that you discount the possibility of the ANC itself providing a process of internal change that could remedy its current problems.
Yes, it's not a news thing. I think that in the history of the ANC, there were a lot of occasions where the ANC weathered divisions and found a way within the organization to talk things out and not have them get bigger and bigger. Everyone refers to 1969 conference, 1985 conference, and things like that. But what was interesting from the time of Zuma's contestation of Mbeki is that it was uncontainable. There were not people within the organization who carried enough authority who would sit them down. Mandela was too old. There were not people who the two were willing to listen to, who would sit them down. In the past, to keep the ANC together, he would have said to these people, sit down. Look, let's not have this out there. Let's just find a way of dealing with your differences. There was nothing like that. But also something that I didn't really pick up properly till I was in India, and I was giving a seminar in Delhi, and one of the professors said to me, tell me, is this are there ideological differences between them, or is it just a clash of personalities? And I say all the time now that it's not ideological, but that was the first time that I had heard it raised, that the differences between Zuma and Mbeki, although they do have different orientations, I suppose, in some ways, but it was not about ideology. They were not arguing over the direction. It was really a contest for power between the two of them. And that set a pattern which I think has become even more powerful now, where no one debates. In 1990, I was head of political education, and we used to train trainers, and people used to go and discuss, and they would discuss things like, what do we mean by national democratic revolution? What is the national? What is the democratic? What is the revolution? What is the Freedom Charter? What are the basic principles of the ANC? All these sorts of things. And there used to be a lot of people reading and discussing, young people, and that seems to have evaporated. I'm not saying there is none of that, but the centrality of ideology to ANC politics is not there anymore. Now, also the ANC itself is not, in my view, composed in such a way that it can automatically self-correct itself if it sits down in a consultative congress and debates the issues. You've got to have good faith. People have got to sit down. In 1969, they sat down and they debated things like, was MK being deployed, or were people just languishing in the camps? What could be done on it? Was there too much emphasis on diplomacy, this sort of thing? Or were there too many whites in holding positions? Should Africans alone hold positions? Or at another stage, when they expelled the Marxist workers' tendency people, is the struggle really about socialism? Now, if they sit down now, what exactly are they going to do? Are they going to say anyone who steals must go, and those who steal, do you think they're going to just say, thank you, I hand in my resignation and leave. They're not going to do that. That's not an ideological thing. Anyone who has got money from the Guptas or has been appointed through the Guptas must hand in their resignation. You're not going to find anyone throwing in their entry card for the union building. It's just not going to happen. So I wonder what exactly they're expecting to happen, but also my question really is, Zuma is a product of the ANC. It's through the ANC that he rose. If we want to have a post-Zuma era that is not a replication of what we've seen, just with a different person, we need to understand exactly what the problems were and have these stalwarts actually examined it. What are they saying about a post-Zuma era, apart from the fact that Zuma must go? What are they saying? What are the things that are wrong with the Zuma period? So that is my reason for skepticism about it. I believe that the organization, when you say you must return it to its true character and all of that, what exactly is its true character? You really need to re-establish debate and all of that, but I think ANC may have gone beyond that, and it may be that it is irreparable.
Now, how viable is your suggestion to build a united front? The NUMSA initiative seems to have collapsed, apart from one or two electoral influences in the Eastern Cape.
Yeah, I'm not set on a united front. What I'm saying is the problem is not just a problem of the ANC, it's a problem of the country as a whole. And the people who feel strongly about this are not just the left, which NUMSA focused on, not just the working class, not just the poor, but also sections of the more wealthy section of the population. And we have to identify what are the things that these people share. And that is a resource. If a broad range of society agree on clean government, on the rule of law, on a return to constitutionalism and legality, then it seems to me that it's important that we should try to unify these people, develop a platform. Now, where I disagree with the approach of the NUMSA United Front is that the entry level was really to be on the left, to believe in Marxism. Now, as in what I'm arguing for is there are a lot of people who are not on the left but agree with people on the left about certain issues of clean government, things like that. Let's unite them. When they come together in a unified platform with some non-partisan figures endorsing such a process, then perhaps it can become a broader movement. And within that movement, if you believe in socialism, you can try and advance it. Or if you believe in certain other things that are not in the generalized identity of the unity movement, you can advance those, and perhaps over time they will become, or they will be rejected as part of its platform. So I'm arguing then that we must not look to some individual to save us. We must not look to what they call the good people in the ANC. We must look to our own power. What power do we have as citizens? Where we are in the media, in education, in labor unions, in religious bodies, etc., coming together, we must do what we can to unify ourselves as a force in order to redirect South African politics in a way that recovers our democratic promise.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you.
That was Professor Raymond Suttner speaking to Creamer Media's Polity about who can bring about change in South Africa.